Public affairs programming on Look TV is underwritten by the generous support of Pinnell's Restaurant, classic Italian American food since 1922, and Stored Tech, technology solutions for computers, networks, and phone. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.
1922, Babe Ruth debuts with the Yankees. WGY signs on air. Exterminator wins the Saratoga Cup, and Pinnell's Restaurant opens its doors for the very first time. For 5 generations, Pinnell's has been preparing delicious Italian food, served in a comfortable, home-like setting where everyone is welcome. 90 years of authentic Italian recipes, 90 years of the freshest ingredients, and 90 years of the finest classic Italian dishes, all made daily by hand. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga dining tradition since 1922.
Most cybersecurity firms deal only with prevention, the systems that block hackers and viruses. Stored Tech knows the root cause is actually good people doing bad things. So we offer a security training program which includes certifying all participants to show they understand the basics.
Technology solutions for computers, networks, and phones. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.
The Saratoga City Council meeting, an inside look at the decisions that affect you and our community.
Good evening. Welcome to our City Council meeting. Today is June 1st, 2021. We have 2 public hearings this evening. The first public hearing is capital budget amendment for the city buildings, and I'll turn it over to Commissioner Saratoga.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a public hearing. This is to amend the capital budget for city buildings. This public hearing is to amend the capital budget for City Hall, for the City Hall project, because there are remaining insurance funds that can be allocated to the building. The city buildings capital account and the City Hall project were utilized for the renovation and restoration project. However, as the council is aware, these accounts are used to maintain capital projects in both City Hall and city buildings. This capital budget amendment adds the remaining insurance funds and funds that were not encumbered into city buildings capital account for project number 1141 City Hall, and will be transferred into budget line H303-1492-52000-1141. The total amount of the budget amendment is $135,329.30 and includes an insurance reimbursement of $132,326.36, $1,500 that was not encumbered from the 2018 to 2019, $1,346.30 that was not encumbered from 2020 to 2021, and $156.64 that had not been voided and was available for transfer. These amounts do not require bonding or any additional funds from the taxpayers, but are amounts already determined, with the bulk of the amendment being the leftover from the larger insurance reimbursement total.
Okay, if anybody is here to comment on capital budget amendment for city buildings, please raise your hand at this time. Nope. Okay, so you see anybody, Lisa? Yeah. Okay, so Commissioner, we're closing this evening?
Yes.
Okay, great. Then we'll move on to our second public hearing, and that is on the CDBG CARES Act funding. Following a consultation with the New York State Office of Homes and Community Renewal, the Community Development Department has been encouraged to submit a full application to HCR for Community Development Block Grants CARES Act funding to support an additional round of city's COVID-19 small business grant program. If anybody'd like to comment on this, please raise your hand. Okay, we will be closing this public hearing and voting on this evening also. So at this time, we have about 2 minutes to wait to start our meeting. So we'll be back in 2 minutes. Thank you. Okay, we are back. At this time, I'd like to ask a roll call, please.
Commissioner Frank? Present.
Commissioner Madigan,
Present.
Commissioner Stracco,
Here.
Commissioner Dalton, Mayor Kelly,
Here.
Supervisor Veach,
Here.
Supervisor Gaston.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next on the agenda is our public comment period. I'd like to ask you to keep your comments brief, up to 2 minutes. We will have a timer. Public comment period will be up to 15 minutes. As a reminder, public comment is not a dialogue or discussion with the council. However, at the end of public comment, any council member may respond to a comment. Please raise your hand on Zoom if you'd like to address the council, and look for this button in the reactions area of the toolbar on your Zoom window. We will call your name and ask you to unmute and start your video. Before you begin, please state your name and the city or town where you reside. If you'd like to speak, please raise your hand. Is anybody looking for public comment this evening? Darlene McGraw, please unmute and put your video on.
Yes. Hi, my name is Darlene.
Do you have a video, Darlene?
City of Saratoga Springs. I do. What do you mean? I have a video. Can you?
You're cutting in and out. Can you just speak without your video, maybe?
I think she's frozen.
She's coming back in, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Darlene, you need to sign off and sign back in. Thank you. We'll give Darlene a minute here to try it again. Anybody else that wants to speak for public comment tonight, please raise your hand. Oh, just trying again. Hold on, please. Be patient. Can you hear me, Darlene? Darlene, can you hear me? Hi, Darlene, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes, go ahead.
Okay. My name is Darlene McGraw. I live here in the city of Saratoga Springs. I am appreciative that DPW has started with the potholes, but our streets need to be flat and even surface. One street that has had significant impact is Wright Street, and that's close enough to the track, and obviously we only care about the people that come here for the summer racetrack season. So that's why the city probably doesn't really care about that section. I don't even know how to begin to say anything else except the water problem. Our water is disgusting. I'd rather drink out of a damn toilet or eat out of the Hudson River and drink out of the Hudson River that's got a ton of PCBs in it than drink our water. And obviously I saw that you guys have water containers inside your offices. So obviously you guys don't like drinking our water either, because you guys like to pay for other water. So thanks for wasting our taxpaying dollars. And the city is expecting clean water. So please give us clean water and better streets. Thank you. Bye.
You. Anyone else for public comment? Okay, then we're closing public comment period, and we're going to move right on to our presentations. We have 2 presentations tonight. The first one is Complete Streets, and I'll turn it over to Tina Carton.
Hi, my name is Tina Carton, and I'm the Administrator of Parks, Open Lands, Historic Preservation, and Sustainability for the City of Saratoga Springs. Tonight, I'd like to introduce Ken Gray and Ted Orse. Both are co-chairs of the Complete Street Advisory Board. And they're going to be giving a presentation on complete streets in Saratoga Springs.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mayor Kelly, and thank you, council people, for allowing us this opportunity tonight. Ted's manning the screens, and I'll be yapping. So, but again, we appreciate the opportunity to let you know what we've been up to this past year, and what we're thinking about in the near future and in the distant future. First of all, moving to what Complete Streets is. I know the council and the mayor know that we have the New York State DOT definition. Ted, if we can move up to the definition. There we go. All right. Of what a complete street is. And if you can look, if you're looking at it, basically, it talks about accessibility to everyone, safe accessibility, connecting yourself from point A to point B for all types of transportation. And what we've seen over the last year going through COVID, certain things have just really stuck out as things that are important to our community. And what we've learned is that streets are not just for drivers. And we've also learned about the importance of open space. So that's part of our focus tonight. If we didn't have proper planning in all the Complete Streets plans that have been updated over the years, we wouldn't be ready, as you'll hear some of the projects that have happened or planning to be happened. You'll see that some of the investment, how it's coming to benefit the city of Saratoga Springs, how collaboration is going to help us by working with the county and neighboring communities, the importance of moving our plans to something that is quote unquote shovel ready, and looking at equitable type of projects to make our projects more feasible for the future in terms of opportunities for grants and everything else. What we're hearing is that Congress very potentially will have some great grant opportunities at the end of the year. And if we're ready for them, the city of Saratoga for the short and the long term can really benefit. So 2020, some of the progress, the mayor, many of the council, and if you notice, let's see, where are the police in this picture? I guess our picture changed, but a lot of our police came in a cold late winter day or early spring day on their bicycles to celebrate the completion of the Geyser Road Trail. We'll hear more about the Missing Links project, which is a $1.9 million investment in our community sidewalk program. Significant progress has been made for the Downtown Connector Trail in terms of rights of way. So we're getting near completion and ready to bring that out to bid for construction in 2022. And we'll talk about the piloting of Henry Street and Philo Street. So the Missing Links project, this is one had City Council and the mayor not had the foresight to do this investment in our community, and I'll underline the word investment, we wouldn't be able to expand our sidewalks to many of the areas that were identified in Complete Streets neighborhoods that were looking for sidewalks to get people safely from point A to point P and also to downtown. Our Tina Carton, she'll be conducting at least 4 community meetings this summer, on-site question and answers to people in each of the communities to let them know about how it's going to happen, how it's going to benefit, and all those kind of good things. But again, by identifying these things in Complete Streets, it's a real benefit. The Greenbelt Trail we're all familiar with, and some of these projects are all linked to that Greenbelt Trail. Geyser Road, the Downtown Connector, Crescent Avenue Extension, which we're getting ready. It's been pre-engineered. We think there's some great opportunities there. Tina Planning Board and all, we went out to Loudon Road to take a look at that, to connect the Downtown Connector eventually to get us out to Wilton and possibly even Saratoga Lake, the Henry Street project. And the whole point here is looking at the plans that we have in place and then moving them to the next step so that we can take advantage of these grant opportunities. Okay, there's the pictures of the police on bikes, the mayor, some of the council people, and some of the kids from the elementary school. But the big celebration for Geyser Road is that it's a, I believe, 2.8 mile corridor that gets people from where over 20% of our city's population can get safely to the elementary school and safely to the Saratoga State Park. Our goal, again, with the Greenbelt Trail is to get now people safely through Railroad Run and down to downtown and connect people throughout the city. This is a visual of what we see the downtown connector to look like next year. So this is over by High Rock Park, taking us out to exit 15. So goals for 2021. We talked late summer, early fall last year about reducing speed limits with some of the commissioners and the county supervisors. And there was genuine agreement that people drive too fast, that there's opportunities for safety and better living environment if we look at slowing our speeds down. So we're looking at updating the Complete Streets plan again. Coordination with the planning board has been happening on Allen Drive and Loudon Road and some other projects. We're going to continue that. Tina Carton's been working with the ADA transition plan. Again, a lot of these things advancing the Greenbelt Trail, and more it'll start making sense to the community in terms of the benefit. We'll be looking at education programs, bike safety programs, the importance of Flat Rock Park and other pop-up parks throughout the community that we can take advantage of, and also discussions about the entrance to Congress Park. And there's a visual of the Pride Crosswalk, which I believe DPW just installed. It looks beautiful, and thank you. So reducing speed limits. I thought about it the other day. A lot of our speed limits were created when cars had clutches, and we couldn't get to 0 to 40 in less than four seconds. I think we really need to look at it again. I know there's a lot of challenges and obstacles to how we get this done, but I think there's general agreement that people need to slow down. They need to stop at stop signs. So that's something I think that's the kind of culture that I hope that the city leaders are looking at, and we'll try to find ways to help us achieve that. And then looking at maybe reducing speeds in the arterials. Updating the Complete Streets plan. We're looking at, Tina is looking at trying to get a number of interns to help update the Complete Streets map on the city website. And by doing so, it'll identify Complete Street completed projects that are underway, projects that are being proposed, and let people that are just genuinely curious to look at the maps and say, all right, this is an opportunity. We really should be looking at those kind of things. And we also want to kind of narrow down our plan. It's kind of voluminous, I guess, best way to describe it. We've identified 13 priority streets, and I could bet nobody could recite these things. So we want to look at that, adopt some new best practices, certainly look at how do we maintain things, and we have to tie budgeting to that. So again, we want to make this report accessible to all. And we've been, we've been working with the planning board, and that's been very effective in some of the work that we've been doing, moving to the Allen Street slide. And there's a picture of Ted Oro's on the left. And I believe that's our Susan Barden. I thought it was Tina, but I think it's Susan. This is when we were going over the Church Street bridge. And we were looking at the Allen Drive development area. And it's an area where there's going to be affordable housing projects. And there's a lot of people right now that are crossing either the Church Street Bridge or Washington Avenue Bridge. It was a lot more dangerous. It's now a little bit more safe, but how can we make it more safe for people to get in through bicycle, through bicycle, through pedestrian walking. The other area that we need to start taking a look at is there's going to be the advent, which is already happening with electric bikes and all those kind of motorized elements. So again, looking at the next 5 or 10 years, transportation is going to be a lot different. A lot of people that can't afford to live in downtown Saratoga, how do we get them safely into Saratoga is going to be part of our goal. Again, Tina's working on an ADA transition plan with the Capital District Transportation Committee to look at making our bus stops more ADA compliant, and also looking at our streets and having them more ADA compliant. So coordination and collaboration with communities outside of ourselves, so namely the county, Greenbelt Trail, open spaces. On an informal basis, we've been working with Matt Veach, and Tara Gaston has joined us on this, and COVID kind of got in the way, but we identified a bike trail system throughout the county. I know I reached out to the folks that handle the insurance for the county. It happens to be Travelers Insurance, who also, I believe, still insures the city. And Travelers was very, very interested and very positive towards setting up bike routes that were safe throughout the whole county. And again, with the advent of the Empire State Trail, there's going to be more activity of people trying to come into our community from all different areas. Obviously, we want to try to connect the Zim Smith Trail and get ourselves out to the Palmerton Ridge, the Adirondacks. So again, we're trying to work together. If we work together, we can get larger grants, we can get greater opportunity for being selected for grants, and we think we'll be smarter in what we're trying to accomplish if we work together with different communities. The design of the trail connection from Crescent Avenue, from the State Park to Nelson Avenue and the Northway, that's been engineered, and we think that's ready, and we have some possibilities for grant money in the near future, so stay in tune. And working with public safety, Saratoga, the YMCA, the school districts, years ago, we had actually met with the Guys Road Elementary School, and we were going to start doing some bike safety training. Well, now we can start doing those kind of things. And the thing that I'll throw out is that when we work with our kids and we educate them, they educate us. And I think they'll help us when we go to projects such as lowering our speed limits. Why should we do these kind of things? So it's going to be good for all. The Flat Rock Park, we want to make sure that it's secure and that it gets beautified, for what lack of better words. But some of the possibilities now with the track opening up in downtown, if we attract people from out of the area, from inside the area to come down to downtown, hopefully we can get a trolley system that's reliable, that gets us out to the track on a regular basis and back to downtown. If people are bringing their families to lunch, they want to have an area that they can sit and have their ice cream after lunch or after dinner, that type of thing. Kick a soccer ball, read a book, stay in the shade. But I think pocket parks have to be something that the city really starts taking a serious look at. And I think we found from COVID how important the outside and the outdoors is to us, to our restaurants, just to our general health and our mindset. And also, I encourage city leaders to be looking at even the possibility, rather than developing some of these open space parking lots that we have that maybe not be utilized in the future, or just areas on parks or land tracts on our tax roll, that maybe we can make these into pocket parks so that people can utilize them in all areas of the city. So that's our goal. Let's see. In Congress Park, we've been talking to several of the businesses in the area, to Saratoga Arts, and we're looking at opportunities that, and if you move to the next slide, of how we can kind of beautify, maybe slow down traffic. If you've driven from the south, you'll know that it's a little bit dangerous coming into that area right there. You know, it's not the most attractive entrance to an entrance that is really beautiful, or to an area, Congress Park, which is really outstanding, really beautiful. And maybe many of you don't know that this area is also part of the Greenbelt Trail connecting areas. You'll see a concept design here of what a pilot project might look like if we narrowed the roadways and had a little bit of activity there. If streetways on Broadway are slowed down, the gentleman that's riding his bicycle illegally on the sidewalk, maybe they'll be feeling a little bit more safe and they'll go on the streets. That's my sense of humor. Okay, pretty bad. In conclusion, we're here to help. We've got a lot of talent. We think there's been a lot of good things that have been happening, but I'd like to start seeing us, a lot of the things like the priority streets, that we can start maybe escalating so that we have a vision that it's, instead of 25 years from now, that we really try to get the priority streets in place within the next 5 years. And you can only do that through planning, and you can only do that through cooperation and identifying good government grants. I give my compliments to the mayor's team and Tina Carton, and really all of City Council for looking at these grant opportunities. But again, collaborating between departments and between neighboring communities, I think is going to help. So we hope that you take this vision and we seriously take a look at how can we implement complete streets so that we make a great community even better of Saratoga Springs. Thank you again for the opportunity to speak tonight.
Thank you, Ken and Ted. Any comments from the council? I just want to say that it looks like a lot of things going on, and even with COVID, you kept moving forward a little bit, so that's pretty good. So congrats to you all. But I do believe that, you know, we need to continue along these lines. And I like that you did mention the maintenance piece of all of this, because that's always been a little bone of contention. You know, when everybody talks about doing a project, that we really need to have funding somewhere in our budget for how to maintain all these things that we're creating. So yeah, that was good. Thank you. Any other comments from the council?
Yes, I have a comment. I thought that was fantastic. And it feels like a long time coming. It's been a long time since Complete Streets has been on the agenda, and it was just a terrific, very high level. You're doing a lot, but you hit all the major topics. I thought it was very good. I do look forward to hearing more about the partnership or the potential project down there with the Art Center, maybe the Visitor Center. I thought you showed a great photo of, that all that concrete and blacktop that you see as you come in off Route 9 into the city of Saratoga Springs. I think we could make that more inviting. And I know with talking to the Art Center and Louise Kerr, like she's got these ideas. I think she already sort of does this now, but if she had a little more room, kind of rolls out a piano, rolls out a giant bass, and I can envision music, our own little Paris down there in that little corner. That's what I sort of see down there. But the Missing Links project. Does Paris have guitars?
No, does Skip?
Skip does have guitars. Sometimes he shows them when he's at city council meetings on Zoom. So he's got lots of very nice guitars. So I did enjoy seeing that vision and hearing about all the great work you've been doing. And it's good to know that you're updating the plan as well. It is a really dense plan. It's difficult for people to get through. It's an important plan. So it's probably time for a much needed update. And I just wanted to thank you. And I hope you'll stick around, because we have a presentation coming up on public space recycling. As you mentioned, children, these are young adults, but we have our young adults, high school children that are going to do a presentation on recycling coming up.
Excellent. So, excellent. We will.
Yeah.
Any other comments from the council?
thanks and appreciation. You're doing great work.
Great. Okay, then thank you guys. I appreciate it. And we'll move on to our second presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Which is recycling. Commissioner Madigan.
Thank you. So this evening we are going to have, I believe, 4 students from Saratoga Springs High School joining us to make a brief presentation on public space recycling. They have formed their own group called Fridays for the Future New York Capital Region. Presenting tonight with Sierra Myers is Mira Diggory. Am I saying your name right? I hope. Jade Halal.
DeGregory.
What was it?
It's DeGregory.
Yeah. DeGregory. Thank you. I've got 2 different spellings here. Jade Halal and Maddie Cook. And they're going to give us a little bit of a, what?
Can we have them unmute and turn their videos on?
Yes, I hope that they were doing that with, yes. So first I want to say these students have final exams. They have been working diligently since they last visited with us. Basically, that was just during public comment. And they sort of went one after another and made a very good presentation to us on public space recycling. It felt like a presentation to me. So they're here tonight, actually on the agenda as a presentation, and they're going to show us a few different ideas of what the garbage bins could look like in downtown Saratoga Springs, as well as give us an idea of what it might cost to do something like this. So with that, I will turn it over to the group to start however you see fit. Thank you.
Hi. So
okay, can I ask, do you have a presentation or are you just going to speak?
We have a presentation, so I can screen share that in a second.
Who has it? Who has it?
That.
Okay, Sierra has it. Okay. Yep. We're just making you a co-host right now, so you can put it up. Are you all set, Lee? Okay, there you go.
Okay, thank you so much for having us. We've been able to talk with Commissioner Madigan and Commissioner Saratoga a bit previously about the importance of downtown recycling, and with Commissioner Madigan, a bit about specific bin design ideas. So we're going to give a little bit of background on the importance of public space recycling, and then we'll get into some specific ideas of what bins in the downtown area could actually look like.
Okay, so there has been an increase in single-serve plastic use coming from restaurants and local businesses, and without public space recycling, we are contributing to more waste and more damage to our environment. In Tuscaloosa, Alabama, 60 public space recycling bins were installed and have since collected approximately 23 tons of waste per year. That's 23 tons of waste that would have ended up in the trash if not for Tuscaloosa's public space recycling programs. Keep America Beautiful reported that in a study of 8 communities, 75% of materials brought into downtown spaces and parks are recyclable or compostable. In cities without public space recycling bins, more of these materials enter landfills than in cities that provide accessible public space recycling. The same Keep America Beautiful report showed that communities that provided recycling in public spaces had less litter than those that had no public recycling bins. So if we were to implement recycling bins downtown, there'd be less litter, reduced waste, and a cleaner, greener community that promotes sustainable decisions.
Okay, so Saratoga cares about recycling. In a Skidmore survey conducted in 2018, half of the participants said that they threw out recyclable waste downtown, but over 80% said they would recycle it if bins were available. In the same survey, over 60% of respondents said that the responsibility for recycling downtown lies in the hands of our local government. And lastly, nearly 90% of respondents said that they were supportive of downtown recycling initiatives. This overwhelming majority cited the economic and environmental benefits of recycling as their reasons for support.
Our recent Change.org petition got over 150 signatures. We had many individuals leaving comments in support for the 28 bins. For example, Zoe, who believes recycling bins can make a big difference in the amount of waste our community produces every year. Or Eli, who thinks that we need to save this earth and that this is a small step towards that.
So the benefits of public space recycling really extend beyond the obviously important environmental impact and into the impact on, tourism and the perception that local residents have of our community. It can reinforce our values as an inviting, clean, and environmentally conscious place to visit. And given that, again, more and more cities like Tuscaloosa and New York City and even Albany, so very diverse places, have been implementing public space recycling programs, our tourists are used to having recycling in their hometowns. And, it's a nice accommodation that we could have to make their experience in Saratoga even more enjoyable. In addition, people, especially young people, are overwhelmingly supportive of recycling. 92% of 18 to 34-year-olds say that they recycle. And climate concern and concern for pollution are major issues amongst young people. So young people in the community and young tourists are really, aware of what our city is doing to be green or is not doing that we could be doing to be greener. It's not only young tourists, though. In a Keep America Beautiful study, 80% of respondents of all ages said that public space recycling was an issue that mattered to them and that they thought was important. In addition, 79% of people surveyed at a Texas park said that they expected recycling in public parks. So in places like Congress Park, recycling has become an expectation. So really investing in public space recycling would make a difference for our tourists and for our residents.
So there's this popular theory called twin the bin, and basically what it is you place a recycling bin right next to a garbage bin, so it forces everyone who goes up to it to make a decision between recycling and just throwing something in the trash. For example, if I walk up to it with a recycling or a plastic bottle, and I would be more likely to recycle it than to just throw it in the trash because the recycling bin's right there. A study by the University of Michigan found that switching from identically colored bins to different colored bins increased the recycling rate from 55% to 88%. So by making the trash bins green or the recycling bins blue, it makes it easier for your brain to differentiate between the two as you walk up to it. The key to ensuring the success of public space recycling is to keep the message brief and clear. So labeling what goes in the bins, like cans or bottles or just even the recycling symbol. Most people are willing and inclined to recycle as long as it's made as easy and simple as possible.
So now that we've seen, the importance of public space recycling as a whole and also ways to make public space recycling more effective, we've put together a list of different bin design options to look at to possibly implement in our downtown area. Obviously, all of the following bins are pretty effective when it comes to, being easy to differentiate what's recycling, what's trash, etc. But the aesthetic and the visual component of our downtown area is obviously important too. So after we've gone through these bins, we'd love to hear your input on what you think best fits the vision for the downtown Saratoga area.
Okay, so this is the first bin. This is called the Split Two-Stream Recycling and Waste Barrel with a lift-off lid. And you can see that it has a bunch of different customizable colors on the bottom. So you see the blue and black. You could also switch those up with the ones on the bottom that you can see. A couple of the pros of this bin is that it's made of recycled plastic. It comes with heavy dual liners. It has fading prevention, and it's made for outdoors. It meets LEED requirements and is ADA compliant, and it won't absorb moisture. It has limited maintenance needed, and there's clear labeling on it, and it's the similar size to our current bins. Some of the cons is just that there's no room for signage. So if we wanted to instruct people how to use the bins or what to put where, we wouldn't really be able to do that with these bins.
So this bin is very similar to the previous one with the same pros and cons. It is a little more expensive due to its hinged doors instead of the lift-off lid, and it's also a little taller. So it really depends on what's more convenient for the DPW workers.
This is the double recycled plastic trash can, and it's 64 gallons. Some pros are with this that it comes with connecting brackets and labeled lids. It can withstand harsh weather. It's natural looking, and there's no need for sealant. But some cons are that the recycling and trash look very similar. So with that twin the bin theory, there's not different colors, so it might be difficult for people to figure out which is the recycling and which is the trash, and it comes unassembled.
Okay, so this is the Manchester Sideload Double Recycling Station. This also has a bunch of different color options. It's maintenance free. It has heavy duty liners. It's made of stainless steel, and it has hinge doors for access. It has rust resistant hinges, and it can come with restrictive openings so nobody can get into it. And it's rot resistant. But some of the cons are that they're very expensive and they're larger than the usual bins.
This is the Dorset Sideload Double Recycling Station. This is similar to the last bin, and this bin's pros and cons vary based on the customizations made. It has multiple color options as shown in the picture. It's more expensive as it's taller and wider than the previous bin. These bins are the ones that closest resemble the bins that are currently in Albany.
This is the Arctech Parkview Trash and Recycling Receptacle Combo. Some pros about this one is that it won't rust and it won't dent or chip. There are decals available that we can get. It has a built-in divider, it's weatherproof and has a fire-safe finish, and there's built-in stability. Some cons about it is that it's not as aesthetically pleasing as we'd like it to be with our downtown and our vintage aesthetic, and it's less modifiable.
So this is the Transition TXC from Clean River. This is another bin that really is truly customizable to meet whatever needs we have. So obviously size varies, color varies, all of that stuff. The color options are right here to the right of the pictures. So depending on if we wanted a more natural look, we could go with browns and greens. If we wanted something more bright and colorful, we could go with blues and greens, all of that good stuff. There's also obviously room for signage and really clear labeling. One thing that's particularly helpful about these bins is a lot of their labels come with images, which is useful because some people who won't necessarily take the time to read a list of what can go in the bins will see a picture and know, oh yeah, I have that in my hand. Now I know where to put that in the bin. Because of the customizations, the price does vary, and so we would need to get a quote if we wanted to go with this bin for the exact, version we were looking for. However, Sustainable Saratoga a couple years ago got a quote for a similar model that's no longer sold, but as you can see, pretty similar color, pretty similar size, pretty similar signage, so I can't imagine the pricing would be that different. And this one for 30 bins, so not 28 like the others, cost just over $37,000, and that includes shipping, handling, and tax. So this is definitely a pretty good option to look into. And then these are the Albany's bins that we've referred to previously. The really good thing about this is it just gives you a sense for what these bins would look like in a actual, street setting. We're not exactly sure where these bins are from, but they're obviously very similar looking to the Dorset sideload bins that we looked at earlier. Overall, regardless of what bin we decide to go with, obviously the price varies a lot. The lower end bins are about $20,000 total for all 28. Higher end is more like $55,000 total for all 28. But either way, regardless of what price point we land at, exactly what customizations we go with, really downtown recycling is just such an important part of being a sustainable city. So we'd love to hear your input on the different bin designs and clarify any questions you may have. We're planning on meeting with the Special Assessments District soon and discussing different bin designs with them per Commissioner Sirocco's suggestion. So we'll hear their input as well. But again, we'd just love to hear your thoughts and answer any questions you may have.
Any comments from the council?
I want to thank you guys again. I mean, for being the stewards, of especially the downtown and with this presentation. Again, it's a good presentation. I'd be curious to see what Albany, what their recycling program is like, and how much use it actually gets, and how they how they actually do it. Again, going into it, we really don't have a plan going into it. By putting together, the bins out there and that sort of thing. I think we need a plan, like we discussed in the past, to actually make it happen. But again, I think it's going to be something that we're going to have to put in the 2022 budget, the capital budget. They're pretty expensive items. I think it's a great idea. I introduced something similar to this back in, I think it was 2013. Matter of fact, I still have the barrel, and it's similar to one of those barrels. And I was thinking about, just for the heck of it, sticking it out there to see who would use it and who wouldn't use it. But thanks for doing it, and I look forward to working with you in the future.
Yeah, I think it was great presentation. Thank you for coming. And I would defer to Commissioner Scirocco on this. I support recycling, but it's his department, and I appreciate Commissioner Madigan working with you also. So Commissioner Frank or Dalton, do you have any other comments?
I know they're more expensive, but the models that have tops to them would probably be better because of the weather. We have these, especially in the summer, tons of rain, storms, and things of that nature. So the ones that tend to have an angled top to them, whether it be the Manchester or a few ones that you showed later, I think would be one. I think they're more visually pleasing, but I think they'd be more functional, and they seem to be a little bit larger. That's just from ones I have seen when I'm in like Maine and different places up north. That's what I tend to see is the ones with the top on an angle versus the ones in Albany that were flat with the top. Because what I've seen with the ones with the flat in the top is sometimes when they get full, then they start putting stuff on the top flat area, like for the ones in Albany. But I think it's a great idea, and I think going to the downtown assessment district was a good idea from Commissioner Scirocco, because I think you'll get some play there too.
Good. I thought you guys did an excellent job. That was a super thorough presentation, detailed. The compare and contrast of all the different designs was awesome. And I'm just so happy to know that there's a group of people out there and residents, especially younger ones, who are passionate about recycling and are pursuing this project. So I think it is incredibly, incredibly needed downtown. So I just applaud your efforts, and I'm here to support whatever decision you all land on. So thank you.
So I'll finish up by thanking you all very much. It was a great presentation. None of those garbage cans are cost prohibitive. I don't think we would make this a capital project because it's not a very significant amount of money. We usually capitalize really expensive, much more expensive machinery or, infrastructure type projects. So if we could get a determination on a bin that we liked, we could make sure that we were including those funds in the budget, and potentially sooner than later, because I think it is time to move forward on public space recycling. I'm not sure what kind of plan we need. I don't know if it should be up to high school students necessarily to come up with the plan. And so I don't know what it takes to get the garbage out of the bins and get it over to the transfer station. I know we had talked about potentially using 2 different colored bags, one for, like, if we did one of those dual bins, and you know which one I like, right? I like the tall one that's on an angle that we can, I think we all like that one, right? I know when I met with you guys, I don't know what the rest of the council likes. I think Commissioner Frank is leaning toward that one too, trying to give you some feedback on the bin that he likes, because we can use some cool signage there. We can even swap out the signage at times. It could even be a revenue generator, like the flags. Maybe when we do the flags, we could put something, that coordinates with the flags for different events and whatnot in that front part of the signage. I don't know. And then it still leaves room up at the top for, what we want to recycle and where we want other waste to go. So, if we can come to a decision, meet with the special assessment district, I think that is a good idea. Get some input from them. They seem to care about the garbage cans and the look and the feel of the downtown. And maybe we can come up with a plan and a cost. And I'll leave it to Commissioner Scirocco to tell us what it takes to bring the 2 different colored garbage bags to the, I'm thinking the transfer station. I know county waste stops at the transfer station. I've had many conversations with them about this, and one goes into the typical waste, and then maybe the other one goes to them to go to the single stream plant. So I thought it was terrific. We're moving forward, and I look forward to hearing, how it goes. I would actually like to attend your presentation to the Special Assessment District.
I will say from a purely visual perspective, I actually think that was the second option I think would be the best. If just from what people are used to seeing now, just from a visual perspective, that would be my feedback on the design.
Okay, any other comments? Well, thank you girls for coming this evening, and I'm sure we'll be seeing you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was great.
Okay, moving on to our agenda, our consent agenda. I move that the City Council approve the consent agenda as included with this agenda. This is a motion. Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? The matter passes. On to the Mayor's Department. My first item is an announcement, implementation of Independent Advisory Committee, New York State Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative Plan. Tonight, I will be announcing the Independent Advisory Committee, which will assist us with the implementation of the New York State Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative Plan. On March 31st, 2021, the Council adopted a resolution in compliance with Executive Order 203. The work of this advisory committee is the next step. The committee has a dual role. Members will research and analyze how a citizens review board will be implemented in Saratoga Springs and then provide the council with their findings for deliberation and decision this year. The second item is members will advise the police chiefs and the Commissioner of Public Safety in implementing the recommendations adopted in the resolution. The advisory committee will report the progress of their work to the council and the public at the first regular council meeting each month. The members of the advisory committee are Charles Chuck Caputo. Chuck has worked most of his career in human service field in senior management for large complex organizations and also worked with US and Canadian public and private organizations to establish and meet best practice operating standards in their organizations. Chuck spent 2 years working with the military in a similar training and consulting role. He helped redesign the healthcare delivery in Nassau and Eastern Queens to create a new health and wellness opportunity for Medicaid beneficiaries. In addition, he was the executive director of a children's day treatment program in Queens, New York for several years at Lifeline Center for Child Development. Chuck has volunteered with several community groups and has lent a hand to help plan fundraisers, implement new programs, establish systems, write policies, and complete strategic plans. He has been on the board of Saratoga Pride for the last 2 years. Most recently, he has served in the Saratoga Police Reform and Reinvention Task Force to help the city comply with Executive Order 203. My second my second appointment to this committee is Kimberly A. Galvin. Kim is a lifelong resident of Saratoga Springs. She graduated from Saratoga High School and from Union College and Vermont Law School. As a lawyer, all but one of the 30 years has been in public service. She has been the Assistant Public Defender in Albany County, the Chief Assistant District Attorney in Rensselaer County, the Assistant Attorney General in the Criminal Division, and the Chief of Staff in the Legislature to the Assembly Minority. Kim currently serves as counsel to the New York State Board of Elections. She has served as Commissioner of Public Financing Statewide Task Force in 2019 and on the Civil Service Commission and the Police Reform Task Force in Saratoga Springs. My third appointment and my final appointment is Jason Golub. Jason is VP and Chief Diversity, Equity and Inclusion Officers for Walker and Dunlap. Prior to joining Walker and Dunlap, Jason was a senior leader at GE, where he was Chief Compliance Officers and ran global and legal corruption investigations for the power business. He was a security enforcement lawyer for a number of years before that. focusing on security fraud and insider trading investigations. Jason served as a co-chair of the Police Reform and Reimagination Task Force for Saratoga Springs. He holds a Bachelor of Arts from Connecticut College and a JD from Columbia University School of Law. The work of this committee is important to the community, and the City Council appreciates the dedication and generous commitment of time from each of these members of the advisory committee. My second item is discussion and vote, authorization to submit New York State CDBG CV application to support the second round of the COVID-19 small business grants. In the winter of 2020 to 2021, the Community Development Department utilized a portion of the city's CDBG CV entitlement allocation to fund small business grant program. Though the program proved successful, it was evident it needed additional grant-based assistance among small business owners persisted. The Community Development Department proposes to seek additional funding through New York State CDBG CV funding to support an additional round of this program to preserve jobs held by persons of low income, which would otherwise be lost to the economic impacts of COVID-19. Relief to small businesses through the provision of 14 grants of $15,000 in working capital will facilitate this job retention. The total grant request is $250,000 and no match is required. I move that the City Council authorizes submission of the New York State CDBG CV application to support a second round of COVID-19 small business grants. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes. My third item is a proclamation, Saratoga Pride Month 2021. With that, I hereby proclaim, whereas the city of Saratoga Springs is well known and enjoyed for many reasons, in recent times, our citizens have added to our good reputation by providing a supportive and understanding community for many diverse groups. Although it is not part of our city's motto, health, history, and horses, a fourth H, human rights, is extremely important to us. Whereas Saratoga Pride is a local group of LGBTQ plus citizens, their families, allies, and supporters who work to increase their visibility and safety as members of our community. They conduct events, provide resources, information, education, and advocacy, and maintain a positive image and a positive outlook. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Meg Kelly, Saratoga Springs, am pleased to recognize the work of Saratoga Pride and extend them my very best wishes for a happy and successful Saratoga Pride Month. I hereby proclaim the month of June as Saratoga Pride Month. My next item is an announcement. Mayor's Food Drive. My office will be conducting a food drive in partnership with the SPA program to benefit the Snack Pack program. SPA is a Saratoga Pathways Academy at Saratoga Springs High School. Students enrolled in this program have worked with local businesses on authentic real world problems and continue to expand these community relationships. The Snack Pack program provides backpacks full of food directly to children at the school. The Snack Pack food drive will be held at the Rec Center on Monday, June 7th from 3 to 6:30 p.m. and on Tuesday, June 8th from 9 to noon. Food drop-off boxes have been placed at various locations at different schools in the city. And that concludes my agenda. And on to accounts, Commissioner Frank.
Thank you, Mayor. The first item is an award of bid extension of polyaluminum chloride to Holland Company, Inc. Upon the recommendation of the Department of Public Works, I move to extend the award of bid for polyaluminum chloride to Holland Company, Inc. for an additional year under the same terms, conditions, and prices as set in bid 2019-24. And that's a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The matter passes.
Thank you, Mayor. The second award of bid item is award of bid copper sulfate to Amrex Chemical Company, Inc. Upon the request of the Department of Public Works, I move to award the bid for copper sulfate to Amrex Chemical Company, Inc. for a total not to exceed $6,900. That's a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The matter passes.
Thank you, Mayor. The third item is award of bid emergency medical supplies to Boundtree Medical, Henry Schein, Inc., McKesson Medical Surgical Government Solutions, LLC, and Life Assist, Inc. Upon the recommendation of the Department of Public Safety, I move to award the bid for emergency medical supplies to Boundtree Medical, Henry Schein, Inc., McKesson Medical Surgical Government Solutions, LLC, and Life Assist, Inc. for various products and prices as quoted in bid 2021-04. That's a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The matter passes.
Thank you, Mayor. The fourth item is discussion and vote rescind the health and safety policy during the COVID-19 pandemic. Employees and visitors who are fully vaccinated against COVID-19 are no longer required to wear a facial covering or socially distance. Anyone who is not fully vaccinated must continue to adhere to previous mask and distance requirements. Additionally, city departments are no longer required to manually check temperatures. It is the responsibility of the employees and the visitors of city buildings to follow this new guidance. Anyone who does not wear a face covering affirms they have been fully vaccinated. Employees and visitors may choose to continue wearing a mask regardless of vaccination status, including those who are public-facing, who are immune compromised, or those who are uncomfortable around unmasked individuals. The City of Saratoga Springs reminds anyone who is exhibiting symptoms of COVID-19 or is feeling unwell should stay home, get tested, and seek appropriate medical treatment. The city's efforts to combat COVID-19 have been done in conjunction with the cooperation of our city staff and unions. We ask that you continue to do your part to mitigate the spread of this virus. Therefore, pursuant to the changing mandates of New York State Department of Health, the CDC, and the recommendation of the Safety Committee, I move to rescind the city September 10th, 2020 health and safety policy during the COVID-19 pandemic and mask mandate. And that's a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Thank you, Mayor. The fifth item is award of bid sanitary wastewater pump station upgrades for electrical construction to Still Sing Electric, Inc. Upon the recommendation of the Department of Public Works, I move to award the bid for sanitary wastewater pump station upgrades for electrical construction to Still Sing Electric, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $80,300. And that's a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The matter passes.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 6 is award of bid sanitary wastewater pump station upgrades, general construction to CFI Contracting, Inc. Upon the recommendation of the Department of Public Works, I move to award the bid for sanitary wastewater pump station upgrades to general construction to CFI Contracting, Inc. in amount not to exceed $956,200. That's a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Thank you, Mayor. 7, and the last item for this evening on my agenda would be award of bid tree inventory and forest management plan to Plan IT Geo LLC. Upon the recommendation of the Department of Public Works, I move to award the bid for tree inventory and forest management plan to Plan IT Geo LLC, not to exceed amounts stated in bid 2021-06. And that's a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The matter passes.
Thank you, Mayor. That concludes my agenda.
Thank you, Commissioner. On to Finance, Commissioner Madigan.
Thank you, Mayor. First item on my agenda is an update on city finances. This is our ongoing report on city revenues, expenses, cash flow, as well as the status of federal and state funding. And based on evolving information, as well as our carefully considered and well-coordinated budget actions, the future is looking more financially stable and healthy. The 2021 budget was designed to be amended as the pandemic economy evolved, when and if the city's revenue and cash flow was able to support the changes. So I have been meeting and have met with most departments to discuss those amendments. And each department, actually, I guess we've met with everybody, you know, whether it was at Zoom or one-on-one. And so we've been discussing with each department, you know, what they would like us to try to be able to do as we're going forward with the rest of the year. Priorities were stated, you know, somewhat from the beginning. First and foremost, I wanted to be able to address employee wages. And we had a meeting to discuss that this morning. And it is my intention to make our employees whole in terms of 2021 wages effective. It's all our intention based on our meeting. Effective August 1, 2021, and to let city employees and the public know that we will be effectively coming out of our hiring pause a little bit early. I had asked for the pause through June 15th, but we have timing issues, especially with police and fire, in terms of getting candidates ready for their various police and fire academies. So coming out of this, you know, a little bit early, but I had enough time to do some level of analysis, so that was very helpful. And we've also received some other good news, which I'll discuss as I, you know, move forward on this agenda item. So next, so that basically means rehiring. This isn't about new hires, but, you know, we've been putting off replacements for people who have retired, or maybe we had the census for certain employees, but we don't have full funding for certain employees to replace them. And we're not going to be able to do all of them, but we're going to try to do what we can do to get through the rest of the year. The next priority that I wanted to address was essential services that may be suffering due to reduced pandemic budget. To date, we have compiled about $2.3 to $2.5 million in expense budget increases. About half of this would be the reinstatement of the 2021 employee contracts. Some of these requests, again, may be moved to consideration in the 2022 budget. Regardless, we're doing our best to meet employee, department, and city needs, all in compliance with the Office of the State Comptroller, state and federal advice regarding how to best manage the budget and how to best expend the federal funds and how to best come out of this pandemic economy in a financially healthy and strong way. We have had several revenue updates based on recent disbursements as well as year-to-date amounts received. These actually total about $2.4 million, and I'm not going to go into the details on every one of them that it includes, but sales tax will be revised by about $2 million. You know, we budgeted 1.16 in VLT. We're getting 2.3 million. Mortgage tax is very strong. Planning board fees will be going up. Building permit fees are going up. You know, the one that we sort of had a real decrease on really was federal aid. We budgeted 5 million and we're going to get 3.9 million. But looking at other revenues, you know, the budget's looking healthy, as is our cash flow outlook in the here and now. So on May 27th, the city did receive a reimbursement of 1.67 million in a long-awaited cash disbursement for the Geyser Road Trail. We put the money out and then we wait to get reimbursed. And so that reimbursement has come, and that absolutely helps with cash flow. This added to the recent disbursements of VLT aid, the American Rescue Act funds, make it much more likely that we may be able to clear the books on at least one of the 2 short-term loans that we took last year to cover payroll and other expenses when annual revenue stalled. And since June is a month in which the city makes a much greater than usual number of disbursements, including remittance to the county and school tax amounts that the city's collected, it's good timing. And this is also when we make a big payment on debt service. So thanks to good cooperation from each of the departments, working with the finance department, our improved financial situation allows us some options and a positive outlook as we consider the rest of 2021 and consider these budget amendments and prepare for the 2022 budget season. Thank you. My remaining items are budget transfers and amendments. The second one, my item is discussion and vote, budget transfers, payroll. Lines 1 through 4, transfer to 207A and 207C budgets for active but disabled firefighters and police officer wages from firefighter and police officer regular wages in the amount of $6,640.12 for firefighters and $9,501.72 for police officers. I move that the City Council approve the budget transfers payroll as included with the agenda. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Thank you. Item number 3 is a discussion and vote budget amendments payroll. Lines 1 through 3 amend the budget to include reimbursements received from the Capital District Drug Enforcement Task Force covering overtime and Social Security. I move that the City Council approve budget amendments payroll as included with the agenda. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The matter passes.
Item number 4 is a discussion and vote budget amendments capital for project 1141. This will also be on Commissioner Scirocco's agenda and was the subject of a public hearing this evening. Lines 1 through 4 amend the budget to include reimbursements received for repairs to City Hall. These will be used to complete various City Hall building projects associated with the post-fire renovation of City Hall. I move that the City Council approve the budget amendments capital project 1141 is included with the agenda. This is a motion and it does require a 4/5 approval and a roll call vote, but we do need a second. So this is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Frank?
Aye.
Commissioner Madigan?
Aye.
Commissioner Scirocco?
Aye.
Commissioner Dalton?
Aye.
Mayor Kelly?
Aye. The matter passes.
Thank you. Item number 5 is a discussion and vote budget transfers contingency. Lines 1 through 4 transfer to the IT department to cover an encoder that will enhance City Hall security and transfer to risk and safety for security improvements to the 5 Lake Avenue entrance, each in the amounts of $16,414 and $11,980.13 respectively. The total transfer is $28,394.13. Prior to the transfer, this expenditure appropriation for contingency held $220,045.83. Subsequent to these transfers, there will remain $191,651.70. I move that the City Council approve the budget transfers contingency as included with the agenda. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? The matter passes.
Thank you, and that concludes my agenda.
Thank you, Commissioner. On to Public Works, Commissioner Scirocco.
Thank you, Mayor. First item on my agenda is a discussion and vote. This is approval for the capital budget amendment for city buildings. On this capital budget amendment adds remaining insurance funds and funds that were not encumbered into city buildings capital account for project number 1141 City Hall and will be transferred into budget line H303 1492-52000-1141. The total amount of the budget amendment is $135,329.30. Therefore, I move for approval, I move to approve the capital budget amendment for city buildings in the amount of $135,329.30. And I put that in form of a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
The matter passes.
Thank you. Next item is a discussion and vote. Authorization for the mayor to sign a contract with Amrex Chemical Company for water treatment plant chemicals. That's for copper sulfate. Again, the next 4 items on my agenda are for the water treatment plant chemicals. The original bid proposal was April 28th, 2021 is extended to June 1st, 2022. Amrex will be supplying the city with copper sulfate in the amount of, no, don't have the amount, not on here. Unit bid price per proposal. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign an agreement with Amrex Chemical Company for copper sulfate chemicals for the water treatment plant. Put that in form of a motion.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion?
We had 6,900 on the award of bid.
Is it 60? Yes, I think you're right. Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner.
6,900. That's correct.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The matter passes.
Second item on my agenda is the authorization for the mayor to sign a contract with Amrex Chemical Company for water treatment plant chemicals, hydrofluorosilicic, and sodium silico. The original bid proposal was May 18, 2019, as it extended to June 1st, 2022. Amrex will supply the city with hydrofluorosilicic acid and fluoride powder in the amount not to exceed the bid price per proposal. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign an agreement with Amrex Chemical Company for hydrofluorosilicic acid and sodium silico fluoride chemicals for water treatment plant, and I put that in form of motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Next item on my agenda, discussion vote, authorization for the mayor to sign a contract with Surpass Chemical Company Incorporated for water treatment plant chemicals. Again, the original bid proposal was May 17, 2019, as it extended to June 1st, 2022. Surpass Chemicals will supply the city with sodium hypochlorite for the water treatment plant in the amount of the unit bid price per proposal. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign a contract with Surpass Chemical Company, Inc. for the sodium hypochlorite chemicals for the water treatment plant. Put that in form of motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
The matter passes.
Next item on my agenda, discussion and vote, authorization for the mayor to sign a contract with Holland Company Incorporated for water treatment plant chemicals. The original bid proposal was May 19, 2019, and it extended to June 1st, 2022. Holland Company supplies us with our polyaluminum chloride in the amount of the unit bid price per proposal. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign an agreement with Holland Company for polyaluminum chloride chemicals for the water treatment plant. Put that in form of motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Next item on my agenda, excuse me, discussion and vote, authorization for the mayor to sign a contract with Kabricki Construction Corporation for equipment rental for chips. This contract is to cover pavement services for work being performed with funds received through chips. Kabricki has equipment for paving that the city does not own, and this is an item historically bid out by Saratoga County. We are able to piggyback off of their bid, but are required to bring forward a contract specific between the city of Saratoga Springs and Kabricki. Total spent in 2020 was approximately $87,000, and all expenses were paid for using the CHIPS funding. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign a contract with Kabricki Construction Corporation for equipment rental for CHIPS, and I put that in form of a motion.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Next item on my agenda is discussion and vote, authorization for the mayor to sign a contract with Planet Geo for Phase 1 street inventory and management plan. The city of Saratoga Springs received a grant as part of the DEC's Urban and Community Forest Program, which works to increase public awareness of the importance of trees and helps communities develop and implement comprehensive tree management plans to create healthy forests while enhancing the quality of life for residents. The city of Saratoga Springs has selected Planet Geo to complete Phase 1 of the street inventory and forest management plan for the city of Saratoga Springs, New York. The certified arborist chosen for the project is required to have an international society of arboriculture ISA professional certification. Task 1 is a GIS-based tree inventory will be performed to collect tree data and various sites attributes. The certified arborist will complete a tree inventory that will include all street trees on public property within the Phase 1 project and within the city right-of-way, approximately 90 miles of city right-of-way. Task 2 is create and complete a forestry management plan for the city of Saratoga Springs, New York, for approval and adoption by the city of Saratoga Springs City Council. The certified arborist will work in partnership with the city of Saratoga Springs to collect, analyze, and use data to adopt a completed forest management plan after fully understanding the findings of the tree inventory. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign a contract with Plan and Geo for Phase 1 tree inventory management plan. And I put that in form of a motion.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Next item on my agenda is discussion and vote authorization for the mayor to sign an agreement with CFI Contracting Incorporated for sanitary wastewater pump station upgrades, general construction contract in the amount of $956,200. In 2014, CT Mail Engineering evaluated 7 pump stations for upgrades to their aging infrastructure. The current upgrades include Excelsior Springs Pump Station, Quad 2 Pump Station, and the Hathorne North Pump Station. Excelsior Springs Pump Station at the intersection of Excelsior Springs Avenue and Victoria Lane. Access to the pump station is in the middle of the roadway, and the valve pit is only accessible from the pump station wet well. Vehicles must drive over the wet well hatch, and it is very noisy and not designed for traffic loading. Additionally, electric and control systems are located in a below-grade structure with insufficient access and ventilation. The proposed upgrade will consist of a newly constructed precast concrete pump station and valve pit to be located outside of the roadway while reusing the existing pump station as a manhole to collect wastewater. The existing pump control kiosk and control panel will be demolished and removed, while a new kiosk with a concrete slab and a pump control panel will be constructed. Quad 2 is located at the intersection of the Plainville Road and Katy Hill Boulevard within the Saratoga County right-of-way. The existing pump rails have been damaged, and control valves can only be accessed from within the pump station wet well. The upgrade will need a newly constructed precast concrete pump station and valve pit while removing and demolishing the existing pump station. The existing pump control kiosk and control panel will be demolished and removed, while a new kiosk with a concrete slab and pump control panel will be constructed. We are also adding a new emergency generator to this station. Hathorne North is located at the intersection of Hathorne Boulevard and Tamarack Trail. The upgrade will need a new pump package assembly with pumps, rails, hatch, and controls off the road while reusing the existing pump station structure. The existing pump control kiosk and control panel will be demolished and removed, while a new kiosk with a concrete slab and pump control panel will be constructed. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign an agreement with CFI Contracting, Inc. for sanitary wastewater pump station upgrades, general construction contract in the amount of $956,200, and I put that in form of a motion.
For a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Next item on my agenda is discussion and vote authorization for the mayor to sign an agreement with Stilsing Electric Inc. for the sanitary wastewater pump station upgrades electrical contract in the amount of $80,300. Stilsing Electric is the low bidder for the electrical contract work. All 3 pump stations will now have new electrical supplies and new energy efficient high performance equipment. The controls will now be accessible outside the wet wells to meet the requirements of the National Electrical Code and 10 state standards. All equipment enclosures will have NEMA 3R weatherproof ratings. Alarms will be used to notify DPW personnel via telephone dialers 24 hours a day. Stilsing will also provide the electrical hookup for the new emergency generator at the Quad 2 station. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign an agreement with Stilsing Electric, Inc. for sanitary wastewater pump station upgrades, an electrical contract in the amount of $80,300, and I put that in form of a motion.
For a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Next item on my agenda is discussion and vote. This authorization for the mayor to sign an application for the High Hazard Mitigation Rehabilitation Grant. DPW is requesting the mayor's signature to apply to the High Hazard Mitigation Rehabilitation Grant for the Luftberry Lake Dam and Embankment Stabilization and Spillway Project. The New York State Department of Environmental Conservation High Hazard Dam Rehabilitation Grant program provides assistance for technical, planning, design, and other pre-construction activities associated with rehabilitation of ineligible high hazard potential dam. The city's engineering department is requesting $100,000 in state funding and will be showing a $245,000 match. The city match has already been expended through in-kind services, and with this grant application is not incurring any new expenses. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign an application for high hazard mitigation rehabilitation grant, and I put that in the form of a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
The last item on my agenda is discussion and vote, authorization for the mayor to accept a donation from Colonel George L. Willard Camp, number 154, Sons of the Union Veterans of the Civil War, in the amount of $9,823.46. The city of Saratoga Springs will be accepting a donation of $9,823.46 from the Colonel George L. Willard Camp, number 154, Sons of the Union Veterans of the Civil War. On Thursday, July 16, 2020, vandals destroyed the historic 77th Infantry Regiment monument that resides in Congress Park. This donation will be used for assistance with landscaping, a plaque, and other upgrades of the Civil War monument in Congress Park. The Sons of the Union Veterans of Civil War was established by the Grand Army of the Republic to perpetuate the memory of Union soldiers, sailors, Marines, and Revenue Cutter Service veterans of the Civil War. It is a national organization composed of direct male descendants of those who served. Although males are not descendants, may also join as associate members. We work closely with our allied orders that include the Daughters of the Union Veterans of the Civil War, Ladies of the Grand Army of the Republic, Women's Relief Corporation, and the Auxiliary of the Sons of the Union Veterans of the Civil War. The Sons of the Union Veterans of the Civil War is dedicated to preserving the history and legacy of veterans, heroes who fought and worked to save the Union in the American Civil War. Part of that mission involves protecting, recording, and saving our nation's endangered memorials, graves, and monuments. Memorial Day, with its origins rooted in the Civil War. It is the principal day for the SUVCW to honor fallen Union veterans and veterans of all U.S. conflicts. And again, I want to personally thank the Colonel George L. Willard Camp, number 154, Sons of the Union Veterans of the Civil War, for their generous donation and their continued efforts on helping preserve our history. Therefore, I move for the mayor to accept the donation from the Colonel George L. Willard Camp, number 154, Sons of the Union Veterans of the Civil War, in the amount of $9,823.46, and I put that in form of motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any
Second.
discussion? All those in favor?
Very
say
generous.
Yeah, that is incredibly generous.
aye. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
And I believe that concludes my agenda.
Thank you, Commissioner. On to Public Safety, Commissioner Dalton.
Thank you, Mayor. The first item on my agenda is to set a public hearing to amend Chapter 225, Section 225-87 of the City Code, entitled Vehicle and Traffic Schedule 22, Time Limit Parking. This is to make the west side of High Rock Avenue 2-hour parking, which is what is on the east side of High Rock Avenue, and keep them both consistent.
Is that next meeting, 5 minutes?
That'd be great.
Great. Thank you. Lisa Rivas, you got that?
We've got it.
Thank you.
Thank you. The second item on my agenda is discussion and vote authorization for the mayor to sign an agreement with MVP Health Plan. This agreement allows MVP to pay our fire department for the telemedicine services that they provide. If there are any additional insurance companies that want our department to provide these services, we will have an agreement with each one. I make a motion for the I make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with MVP Health Plan. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any
Second.
discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Thank you. The third item on my agenda is discussion and vote authorization for the mayor to sign a contract with Boundtree. This is a contract for medical supplies for the fire department. I make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign a contract with Boundtree Medical. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
The fourth item on my agenda is discussion and vote authorization for the mayor to sign a contract with Henry Schein. This is a contract for emergency medical supplies for the fire department. I make a motion for the mayor to authorize the mayor to sign a contract with Henry Schein. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Sorry. The matter passes.
The last item on my agenda is discussion and vote authorization for the mayor to sign a contract with Life Assist. This is also a contract for emergency medical supplies for the fire department. I make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign a contract with Life Assist.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Thank you. That concludes my agenda.
Thank you, Commissioner. On to supervisors. Supervisor Veach, do you have anything tonight?
Mayor, I have nothing at this time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Gaston, do you have anything this evening?
Yes.
There we go.
We're good now? Okay. Do you mind if I add a quick announcement to my agenda?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, I can't hear you now. I just wanted to let everyone know that Saratoga Springs is going to be hosting a vaccination pod. The county health department, we had hoped to do it in Congress Park and work with the city on that, but that is not an option. However, we were going to be holding one in downtown Broadway, either the 15th or the 17th. We're waiting for the final dates on that, and that will be a walk-in vaccination clinic. And I just want to thank all of our local businesses, the City Center, Ben & Jerry's, Finger Paint, all of them are donating supplies and assistance to this. So I just wanted to thank them. As soon as we have the date final, I will make sure to let you know so that it can be posted hopefully on the city website, as it will also be on the county website as well. And that's all I had. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other business from the council? Thank you all. We are adjourned.
Public affairs programming on Look TV is underwritten by the generous support of Pinnell's Restaurant, classic Italian American food since 1922, and Stored Tech, technology solutions for computers, networks, and phone. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.
1922, Babe Ruth debuts with the Yankees. WGY signs on air. Exterminator wins the Saratoga Cup, and Pinnell's Restaurant opens its doors for the very first time. For 5 generations, Pinnell's has been preparing delicious Italian food, served in a comfortable, home-like setting where everyone is welcome. 90 years of authentic Italian recipes, 90 years of the freshest ingredients, and 90 years of the finest classic Italian dishes, all made daily by hand. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga dining tradition since 1922.
Most cybersecurity firms deal only with prevention, the systems that block hackers and viruses. Stored Tech knows the root cause is actually good people doing bad things. So we offer a security training program which includes certifying all participants to show they understand the basics.
Technology solutions for computers, networks, and phones. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.